The Daily Purge. How you doing today? If you're an employee, you might want to listen to this. So check it out. Back in my day, when I was working for corporations, people would ask me all the time how I got to do what I got to do. And why was it I was one of maybe 10, 15 directors or managers or general managers or leaders, and I sort of got to do always what I wanted to do. And it was like, well, it's not fair. Steven gets to do this, and we don't get to do that, and this, that, and the other. Well, the first thing you got to remember is that I never asked for permission, right? So I knew that when I was going to take action, that I was going to get the results. I wouldn't take action unless I knew I would get the results. See, that's a very simple concept, but very difficult for a lot of people to understand. For some reason, they think that taking action is part of their job, and it doesn't really matter about the results. They think they have to fulfill the results that they're told and nothing more. Well, I always chose to overachieve, over accomplish, make things more, incredible if I could. So if you're an employee, the first step that I would say is, before you take action in anything that you do, how can you crush it? How can you overachieve and over-deliver, right? How can you do that? Because this is what's going to get you noticed, number one. Number two, you're probably saying, well, my boss, my direct line won't like it because I want to make him look bad. No, give him the credit. Give him the credit. If someone says, how'd that happen? Yeah, well, John told me to do it. Or Sally told me to do it. And you're asking me now, why would I give someone else the credit? Well, I'll tell you why. Because people are going to see who's doing the work anyway. If you're consistent in the work that you do, and you're consistent in overachieving, and you're consistent in going above the line, they're going to see that it's you and not the other person. And being humble about it will get you a lot farther than you bragging about it or trying to make it happen. Never do anything with an expectation of being noticed. Never do anything with the expectation of being attaboy, because it probably won't happen. Again, the person above you, if they're even a little bit insecure, they're going to see you overachieving and be like, oh, okay, this guy makes me look good, but we can't let anybody find out. Well, people are going to find out, because that's what it's all about, right? People see where the truth lies sooner or later. Maybe after a while, and maybe it'll take a little bit, but they will see it. And that's the whole point, right? You want, if you want to get ahead in life, you can't count on the people around you to take to get you where you want to go when they're not getting there, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with great leaders. There's great leaders everywhere. The question is there a great leader in your company right now? Is there a great leader that actually cares about you and getting ahead? Me personally, I wanted everybody to get ahead. I wanted to replace myself as soon as possible so I could move on to another position. And so if you're an employee and you're out there and you're wondering how you can get ahead, hey, Chris, what's up, brother? Are you Telek? I don't know what that is. Hey, Israel, how you doing, man? I don't know what Telek is. Telek? I don't know. Can you hear me? Maybe that's it. Are you talking? I don't know. Anyway, so if you're an employee out there, are you talking to me? Oh, Chris, I know you did. We talked about this, right? And that's always the problem. If you're an overachiever and you outperform your next line, your hierarchy, you're going to make them look good to a certain point, and after a while, they're going to look bad. So they're going to try to block you and fire you, whatever they want to do. Don't worry about that. I got to do things in every single company that I went to because I never asked for permission. I never asked for permission. I made sure that when I took a over-deliver, I was going to deliver and I was going to over-deliver, so that every time the results came, everyone looked good. And I never looked for sort of accolades out of that at all, period. Second of all, dress the part. Hey, Mark, you talking to me? Greetings to Peru. And you have to look the part. So some people go to work. So I worked for this big chain. Everybody went to work in a polo shirt and khakis, which I absolutely cannot stand, Mr. Cookie Cutter, right? I would go in a dress shirt and pants and a jacket, or a tie and a shirt and a jacket, depending on what kind of meetings I had. And I would look spiffy. So we go to these meetings and everybody's wearing these polo shirts. Like, why does Steve get to wear a suit? What do you mean, why do I get to do it? I just did it. I didn't ask, can I wear a suit? Why would I do that? I'm representing the company. I'm representing me as the person who leads that company, leads that department, whatever it was that I was leading. So I took initiative for that. So what do you think people are going to see when they see that? First of all, you're going to have leaders that are going to see that way above you, or CEO or whatever, or the owner or the chairman. You're going to see this person, like, this guy sticks out. This gal sticks out. They're getting stuff done. They're not complaining. They're not looking for accolades, and they're overachieving all the time. His department's doing well, or her department's doing well. This is how you get noticed. It just reminded me, because I was talking to someone about this, about taking charge, right? People say, well, I can't take charge. It's my boss's job. Do you want his job? Do you want to move forward, or do you want to stick out to where you were? Any excuse that you give why you shouldn't do something is the same excuse you can give for doing it as well, right? So overachieve. Take a step only when you know you're going to overachieve and you're going to accomplish the goal, and you're going to overachieve the goal. Number two, look the part. Be the part of that person who you're supposed to be. We'll watch when I get off work. All right. Be the person that you're going to be now. Be the person you want to be now. Dress that part. And number 3 is always be giving, always be elevating, always be helping, always be assisting, go above and beyond your call of duty and help other employees get along. Exactly, Mark. Dress like a king, feel like a king. Always be helping, even people in other departments, other companies, other clubs, whatever. Get on the phone with them. How you doing? What's going on? I see your sales numbers are low. Can I help you out with anything? Well, why are you helping me? Because I can. Right? These are all things that are going to seep through the cracks, and people are going to start hearing about this. Like, this person's way under his league. I had a CEO one time. So I was a director of Europe for operations and development for this big company. Hey, Brian, I left, right? Well, actually, I got left because they had a hostile takeover, and I got left. So fired. A year later, I come back, but only as a GM, right? So much lower. And the CEO, who was above me, was a guy that I trained, right, to be the CEO. And we're sitting there, and then the director, the owner, the CEO of the entire group, it was a listed company, comes down and meets me, and I'm showing him around. And I did a meeting, and I did this and that. And he goes, Steven, what in the hell are you doing at this low level? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, what did you do before? And the CEO that I had trained was standing beside me. He started turning red. I said, I was the director of Europe. And he said, what? He looked at the CEO and said, why didn't you tell me this? Boom, busted out. I didn't bust him out. He knew he did wrong. He was upset that I was in this lower position where I should be in a higher position. So I didn't have to go out looking, look at me. I performed my duties so good and so well that the CEO of the entire group of the PLC listed in the London stock market said, holy shit, this guy's good. You see what I'm saying? If I don't went out and said, hey, I was this and I did that. No, I took the job that they gave me, and I was self-employed, but still I took the contract that they gave me, and I freaking crushed it. And he said, how are you doing this? And I told him. And then I told him I was the director. I said, can you go to all of the 87 locations and replicate this? And I said, I sure can. And the CEO, the little one, said, no, I'll do it. And he said, no, Steven does it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And so that made me obviously not good in his eyes, but I didn't care because I wasn't trying to look good in his eyes. And everything I did reflected on him. And I would edify him. And I said, Doran's doing a great job, or this guy's doing a great job. We'll just mention his name. This guy's doing a great job. He's fantastic, this, that, and the other. I would edify this guy. I would never talk bad about anybody. So, third thing, never talk bad about your employees. Third thing is help others. Fourth thing is never talk bad about employees. Never gossip. Be the rock. Be the problem solver. Be the one that rises above and make it happen. And I'm telling you, we're connected through Lisbeth and Heinet. Hey, Ahmed, how you doing, brother? And I'm telling you, you will thrive. You will fly. Yes, there'll be haters. Yes, there'll be people saying, what are you trying to do? You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be in this perfect position right now. That's what I'm trying to do. And anyone doing less than that, I don't want to talk to you. Either you're going to be the best version of yourself or you're going to go somewhere else. I don't want anything to do with anybody else. Seriously. When I'm in a job and I'm in a career and I'm working with a team, you either push every day to be the best version of yourself or I don't want you. Simple as that. And that's how I would interview people. Like, if you're ready to push every single day, and I don't mean sweating on your brow and digging ditches all day, I'm talking like you have the winning attitude every day. That's what I'm looking for. If you bitch, if you complain, if you cry, if you gossip, if you talk garbage, you talk behind people's backs, I do not want to work with you, period. It's your mindset that matters. I can train skill. I can't train character, right? Your character is flawed. I can train you all I want. Your character is still flawed, right? So if you're an employee, these are some tips for you. I hope it helped you out. Go out there and crush it, make it yours, own that shit, and become the best version of yourself, because that in the end is what it's all about. And it also leads to that one thing that we always talk about. And what is that? That is quality of life. See you tomorrow.